Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So in today's episode, I've got 9 houseplants that are doing well in the winter. These are houseplants that tend to do well in the winter when plants should be in their dormant period. So they're either putting out new growth or showing some flowers. And I'm going to be showing you each of them today. They're here on my table at the moment. So let's get to it. So the first plant on my list is this guy. This is an Echeveria, type of Echeveria. So it's a succulent, it's a rosette-like plant. And this, every winter, puts out its flowers. So really interesting, it's starting to do it at the moment. So this will come out in the next couple of weeks. And some nice yellow flowers. It's on my windowsill in my bedroom, so it gets plenty of light. So therefore, it's happy putting out these yellow flowers every winter. So the second house plant on my list is this guy here. It's the Tradescantia tiana. Really interesting plant. It's got these kind of pinstriped leaves, green leaves with white pinstripes. And this is located in my living room. Really happy plant in the winter. I've cut this one back quite a lot to propagate from. Really easy plant to propagate. Yeah, and it seems to always bounce back even in the winter. So I've recently cut this back. And it's putting out new growth in the last few weeks. So it doesn't seem to have a dormancy period. Tradescantias tend to grow really quickly, and this one is just the same. So the third plant on my list is a Hoya. This is a Hoya carnosa. Don't have too many Hoyas in my house. I think I've only got 2. One of them I bought from IKEA, and this one I bought online. And I really like it. It's got thick waxy leaves with a slight variegation of dark green and light green. But this is putting out tons of new growth in the winter. All these long stems have kind of developed. It was quite a compact plant at the top. So Hoyas are trailing plants. And this one's cascading nicely over this white pot. So I'm really happy with this. One of my favorite plants. I really like it. I like the leaves, the waxy glossy leaves, and seems to do well in the winter. Fourth plant on my list is this guy. This is another Tradescantia. Tradescantias tend to do well in winter, all year round really. This is a Tradescantia nanuk. Really interesting plant. So it's putting out new growth from the top on all these stems. So each stem has probably 2 or 3 new leaves in the last couple of months. So it grows well in the winter. All Tradescantias are prolific growers, and well, the leaves are really pretty, really. If you look underneath, they've got this purpley colour. So really interesting plant. Grows really quickly, even in the winter, and this one's doing very well. The 5th and 6th plant on my list are the same plant, but different varieties. They are both Syngoniums. Syngoniums aren't fussy plants at all. And these two are growing very nicely during the winter. So this is more of your classic green Syngonium. Quite a prolific grower. I've had this about 6 months, maybe 8 months. Don't have any issues with it. Really like the leaves. Lots of stems coming from the base of the pot. So it's a really happy plant. I've got this in my kitchen windowsill, and it's pushing out lots of new growth, new leaves coming from the base of the plant. I've never propagated a Syngonium before, but I'll be looking to do that in the future. I'll post a video on that. It's a bit of a learning experience for both of us and see how I do. So that's a classic Syngonium. And then this guy is a Syngonium red arrow. Really interesting plants. Slightly different, got bigger leaves to the green Syngonium. And as you can see there, it's pushing out a new leaf there. There's a new one at the base there as well, in the middle rather. So I really like this plant. It's got these kind of pink leaves on the tops, and underneath it's got the green leaves. This one's happy. I normally place this just behind me on the mantle of my fireplace, so it doesn't get massive amounts of light, but nonetheless it's happy there, and it's pushing out new growth in the winter. The 7th plant on my list is a really unfussy plant. You've probably got it in your house. This is a cutting I took from the mother plant in my bedroom. This is a Monstera deliciosa. This is the newest leaf. It's got some nice fenestration in the leaves. This came out, I think, a month and a half ago, so it was in winter when that happened. So this is a cutting from the mother plant. It was just one leaf, and it's since put out 2 fresh ones. I think that was the original, and it's put out these 2 new ones. So yeah, like typical Monstera, really not fussy. We'll just continue to put out new growth in the winter as well. It's slower in the winter, but it does put out new growth. This one's happy, it needs a lot of light to do so. If you put it in a place where it gets lots of light, then the leaves will grow this more this fenestration as it gets older, which is what we want from a Swiss cheese plant. The 8th plant on my list of plants that are doing well in the winter, or that tend to do well in the winter, is this guy here. This is a Philodendron scandens Brazil. I've featured this a couple of times on my channel already, but this is doing really well. There's a brand new leaf there, in fact. Looks really nice, really shiny. I really like the shiny leaves when it comes out fresh, and you can see all over this plant, new stems are developing, or new leaves are developing on the stems. So this is quite a compact plant a couple of months ago. It was only the base of the pot, but it's since the last few weeks putting out these new, or these long stems with new leaves. So it's branching out a little bit in its spots. I have this in my living room, quite near the window, not too near, probably a couple of meters away. So it doesn't get loads and loads of light, but still happy where it is, and no issues in the winter, continues to grow all year round. And so the final plant on my list is this guy. This guy is an umbrella plant. Really interesting plant. This one's quite small. They can grow to be quite large. I'm hoping this one will grow on to be quite a large plant. But as you can see, the top probably 5 or 6 leaves are lighter green in colour. That means they're new. So this is continuing to grow during the winter, so it's very happy. And you can see at the very top there are tiny, tiny little leaves starting to come out. I think I'll see another 5 or 6 there, so they'll come out in the next couple of weeks. So this plant doesn't really seem to slow down in the winter, which is really good. So this plant should continue to grow and be quite a large plant in a few months. There you have it, guys. So that's 9 plants that are doing well in my house during the winter. Let me know in the comments any plants that are doing particularly well in your house during the winter. If you like the video, then please leave a like on it and subscribe if you're new, and I will see you in the next one. Cheers.